Finding your new apartment, being approved, and then signing a rental contract all online is something that sounds very appealing. Lots of people don't want to talk to landlords. They may not want to talk to letting agents. They may not have a credit history, or they may be coming from abroad and have to live in an Airbnb while they look for and are able to sign for a new apartment. My guest today was Aidan Rushby, who is the founder of Movebubble, which is one such click-to-rent platform based in the UK, which lets its users find, be approved for, and sign a contract for their new apartment from the comfort of their own home, wherever that may be. If you like today's interview, don't forget to like it down below and subscribe to our channel. So hi, Aidan. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for talking with us today. Could you start off with a little bit about what Movebubble does?
Sure. Movebubble is a video-first rental app which enables renters to transact seamlessly in one click on properties from letting agents or real estate agents, build-to-rent operators, and landlords.
Okay. For our international viewers, could you give us maybe an insight into some of the barriers that people might encounter when looking to rent a home in the UK? Is it similar to other markets, or what are the holdups typically in renting in the traditional way?
Yeah, I think some of the holdups can be things like not having any credit history in the UK, or potentially not having employment until you get here. Also, one of the other pain points as well is that there are not many other platforms where you can transact on a long-term rental home before you get to the UK. So some consumers are having to rent an Airbnb, which can be quite expensive for a month before they get here, which obviously makes it more expensive for them to move into the new city.
Okay, and could you walk me through, if I'm a potential renter, what is the process like from discovering your company Movebubble and actually transacting, actually renting somewhere out?
Yeah, of course. So the process is you download the app, you start viewing walkthroughs, video walkthroughs, which are effectively virtual tours of the apartment. They're done really interactively and really designed for a younger consumer, 15-second splits of videos, so it's mega engaging. The platform learns about what the renter wants, and then when you're ready to transact and you've found the one you want to secure, you pay effectively 1 week's rent, and then it enables you to do an open banking check for referencing, which instantly comes back, and then the partner can accept or decline your offer, and then you can move in to the apartment pretty quickly.
Okay, that sounds very good. Anything that lets me transact online, I'm a big fan of. I apologize for the noise in the background. This is one of the downsides of being a renter, is you don't choose your neighbors, and when your neighbors want to build a new kitchen, you have to deal with it. I apologize for that. So the next thing I wanted to ask was, how is it that you go about getting landlords on board? Is there a specific segment of landlords you target? Do you have to explain quite a lot to the landlords about the model?
Yeah, we primarily work with letting agents or real estate agents and enable them to offer the ability to transact online. We also work very closely with build-to-rent operators. So these are professional, large-scale landlords that have built whole blocks of flats that are specifically designed for renters. So they're probably the most renter-friendly, if you like. And then we also work with individual landlords on the platform as well.
Okay, and how do you go about getting the users? How do you go about, is it something that, are you very big on social media? Is it SEO? Is it other forms of marketing? How do you go about the user side, the demand side?
The renter side. Yeah, so we spent a long time doing grassroots marketing. So we built a brand through hosting events, user group sessions. We really connect with the renters constantly, and that's led to us building a great product, which generally speaking is shared quite aggressively between renters. And so that's how we got going initially. We got to about 200,000 downloads that way. And then we started to expand that into more mainstream media, so tube, buses, above the line, and paid digital. And we're just about to launch desktop, which will then enable us to start competing in search as well. So we've kind of built it up, built the brand first, and then because SEO is the most competitive space, we left that till last as a key channel.
Okay, that was actually leads me on nicely to the next question is, you guys are app based at the moment, like you said, you're going to desktop. Were there any other reasons behind being app first, or was it purely because you thought search was a very competitive landscape to break into?
Yeah, well, we're close to hitting 1 million downloads now of the app, which has been pretty good strategy. Like, the reason for focusing on mobile first, it was a place that nobody really else was focusing on, so it was less competitive in that space. And I felt that was a good channel to start and to build the brand and build that really great UX mobile first approach. And then once you build that out, go after desktop. A lot of people do it the other way around, and I always think it's better to be different than copy everybody else.
Okay, that makes sense. And we've spoken to a few companies that have some quite interesting origin stories. What's the background of Movebubble? Were you yourself an agent or a frustrated renter perhaps, or did you just maybe see a gap in the market and move in there?
I've always been an entrepreneur since a very young age, and really, when I was at university, I started by being a Saturday assistant for a real estate agent, showing people around apartments. And then after uni, I went and worked for that company. And I guess I was really frustrated because I kind of always saw the renter as the customer. Ultimately, all the rent, all the money that flows in the industry is paid from the renter side. So I always saw them as a customer, but I felt that they weren't treated like a customer, and kind of disappointed me. I'm very customer service centric, so I was really disappointed and really wanted to put the renter at the heart. And so what I do is set a company up, and the core value of Movebubble is renter first. So everything that we do is number one has to be for the renter. And so that's really where the company came from, and where in essence what Movebubble is about.
Okay. Do you see this or a similar model, a sort of, let's say, click to rent model becoming more prevalent, not necessarily just in the UK, but around the world? Certainly it's a model that I like the sound of. I wish I had been able to do that a few years ago.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've seen, like we've been monitoring the data in our chat for the last four years, and it's been growing at an exceptional rate, the number of renters requesting to chat and to transact online. So really that, and as a result of COVID, that's accelerated not only the demand side, but the supply side significantly as well.
Okay, and one question that I find personally a bit strange perhaps is, why haven't the big portals, your Rightmoves, your Zooplas, even your Zillows and REA, people like this, why do you think that they've maybe been a bit, do you think they've been a bit slow to get into this space, the click to rent space, or do you think they don't want to rock the boat too much?
I think it's a different model, and it requires a very different approach. So in my view, like, you've kind of got the traditional classifieds, and if you look at the development of that market, it started with like low quality lead gen, where people like Gumtree were doing multiple different variables from dating to all of these different things, and then, you know, Rightmove and Zoopla have then focused on, you know, sales, commercial sales and renting. And I think really to do click to rent, it's much more labor intensive, and it requires more of a human touch and different levels of trust. And therefore, I think it makes them difficult to move into that space, because they're taking a lot of brand risk by being much more of a service, where at the moment they're purely just a lead gen marketing machine, and they don't really take on any responsibility if the agent, you know, responds to the lead, or if they engage with the renter at all, or if they turn them down. But where if you're a click to rent model, you have to have that level of customer service and ultimately taking on that liability, which effectively ultimately affects your EBITDA percentage. And so I think that therefore, you know, why is Rightmove and Zoopla, which when you're operating on an 87% EBIT margin, why would you take on that unless you really had to? I also think that they're very much, you know, they're very sales driven. You know, do they really understand what the renters are doing and have that same level of care and what the renters want?
Okay, that's a good answer, actually. I hadn't necessarily thought of that. One last question from me. 2020 being the year that it has been so far, how has it been for the click to rent market? Has it been, as we've seen with some companies, it's almost been a benefit, and with other companies, obviously, it's been a complete disaster. How has it been for you guys?
So we only launched it in May, the full click to rent model. Before that, we were just a lead gen model, so that's only something that's come into play more recently. But yeah, it's been really like fantastic. It's been a bit quieter in the last month, but prior to that, we were growing at about 90% a month, the number of transactions or bookings happening on the platform.
Okay. Well, listen, Aidan, thank you very much for talking to me. Like I say to everyone, I am genuinely a fan of the model. I think click to rent would have been great for me a couple of years ago, and I wish you the best of luck.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.